Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another custom. Today we're having a look at a game played by Reckless on the European server here, and he's going to be starting out on that Jhin together with the Rakan support, going off against the Lux CAITLYN support, and that is probably one of the most brain-dead bot lane combos I know. Maybe Leona like Tristana or something. But like CAITLYN Lux is just, oh my lord. The bile. Whenever I play against it, dude, I can't. So, we're gonna have a look at this game. I might or might not have had a look at the stats before, and it seems like Reckless was doing kind of good for himself. So we're gonna figure out how exactly he does so. And we're going to have a look at the top lane here first. It's going to be a Cho'Gath for the blue team against a Fiora for the red team. And for the red team here, then in the jungle, a Karthus in the mid lane, a Talon facing off against a Akali and a jungle Kha'Zix. As the bot lane is preparing to spice it up. The good old, the classic. People are kind of expecting it anyway. This is a solo rank game, by the way. So, this is not a duo queue game. But people seem to have fun, which is good. Lux gonna go for a little bit of pokety poke, but the CAITLYN not gonna hit that Q, and now, yeah, the cooldown here is punished, of course, as the flash out of the Lux. And Jhin is taking a lot of damage. Very aggressively played here, thus opening up, and this is interesting, right? Because this is obviously opening up a bit of an opportunity for the Rakan Jhin, because really what Lux CAITLYN want to do is not trade, but just hit you. So usually the only way for you to get out of that is to trade hard with them. That is usually the way that you want to deal with something like the Xerath, like a Lux CAITLYN lane, but also like, you know, all of these champions that can poke you out real hard, right? Good counterpart to this would be someone like a Nami, a Senna, right? They can deal very well with them, as they can just out trade, and as long as they're able to trade into the poke is actually infinitely less scary. And so CAITLYN Lux, for example, right here. Okay, CAITLYN flash has been blown. It's been traded for the Rakan. Kha'Zix hasn't really been able to do much. Lux might have to flash here. Lux will just go down. And Jhin takes this one for himself. As here we see the boot on the Jhin. Of course, that is a little bit of an old start, but still very, very good as, of course, movement speed. Quite the valuable stat to have versus something like the Lux and the CAITLYN. Of course, they like to pair their damage in skill shots, or dish out their damage in skill shots and like pair their skill shots to make it a little bit more nasty, as Reckless seems to be having a lot of fun here. And yeah, the CAITLYN Lux definitely not in the best of situations here. Reckless already approaching the level 4. As the Lux and the CAITLYN still halfway towards level 2. As the regank here planned by Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix gonna jump in, hit that W. The Jhin W lands, the knockup lands. And not quite enough damage, but we are pushing them back once again. This is, of course, absolutely great for the blue team bot lane here. Very good Q by the Lux. The W comes in. CAITLYN has no flash, as his Zephyr will take the kill onto the CAITLYN, but miss the cannon minion. Unlucky, dude. Minus 75. Ooh, that almost tagged him as well. Ay. This Lux is still scary, but you can see, right? A lot of jungle intervention. This is also usually how it goes, right? You just want to fiesta a lot. And it's very important as the jungler here, the Karthus, to protect your CAITLYN Lux lane from this. CAITLYN Lux, probably one of the most like gank intensive lanes in that, or not gank but cover intensive lanes, right? Where it's a little bit like an Azir in the mid lane, right? Where if you blow their flash, all of a sudden the power level already drops down like a bunch. Because of course, if CAITLYN Lux can't play as aggressive as they want to, they really don't have that many options anymore, and they get taken down to a normal bot lane level, as they are actually, you know, reasonably vulnerable to anything that is a gank. Reckless, just gonna sit down here, of course, absorb that farm. He is an AD carry after all, while the Rakan is gonna have his fun on the map. Thematically, Rakan, pretty good answer to the Lux CAITLYN in the regard of like setting up and pressuring, right? However, can of course struggle very hard against CAITLYN Lux combo. As here now, this is looking like the dragon goes over to the red team here anyhow. So at least when it comes to the dragon, the Lux CAITLYN lane still kind of doing their job. However, of course, and this is the other problem, is that the CAITLYN's gonna have to somehow pull ahead in gold here to be able to have as much impact as someone like the Jhin can in mid game. Of course, Jhin just has a lot going for himself as the flash comes out, and that is a dead Lux here, dead to the Rakan in this case. Not the most useful one, as of course Jhin will use his flash to trade a kill for his support, but that's, you know, fine. As yeah, Reckless has been spamming Jhin lately, which I find very interesting, as I thought that Jhin wasn't the strongest. However, maybe that's some prediction on what's going to get strong as well in the future. We're going to see, of course, Reckless back to the solo queue action, as MSI not going to be for him. The plate will be missed here for now. As I find it magical that Talon hasn't found a roam into the bottom lane here. And okay, yeah, I was about to say, can we... Thank you. That just was important for my OCD, like, just... The tower plate needs to be taken, as the Kali will try to trade in. That was a good idea. But the Talon will take that and turn it into an advantage for the red team here. So CAITLYN Lux going to be setting up to slow push this. And this is going to be scary, man. You have a Boots of Swiftness, Noon Quiver, and Pickaxe. Jhin versus just a Noon Quiver. CAITLYN definitely wants some movement speed too. Now Rakan and Jhin have movement speed boots, which is very rough. I mean, they have tier 2 boots. And that's actually really rough to play against. Just when it comes to the setup and the threat. As we're gonna freeze here probably. The rotation of the red team has been detected as well as Jhin. Just gonna set up some traps. Gonna set up a freezing lane here. Has the fleet footwork, so he doesn't really worry too much about the healing. As Akali will go down to the Fiora here. Rakan answering the Lux CAITLYN. I mean, CAITLYN's given up a good amount of farm here, as Reckless somehow, for some reason, turned this into a push, which I find very interesting. I think this would have been really rough for CAITLYN to play if he just froze it. But, you know, it is what it is. He does have the level 7, of course. Would be able to alter here. Mana-wise, doesn't really look like he has mana to WR. So that's unfortunate. I see the Lux and the Rakan, of course, helping to fight around the Herald area here. Of course, this is just like solo queue combat for no reason. We're just fighting. We don't really care. As long as you're fighting, it's good or something. Reckless, of course, doesn't have the most mana here, which is kind of rough. But we're going to be able to collect another plate here, which is more than good enough. Got to be a little bit careful. Karth is now on the bottom side of the map. Talon is showing in the lane. I actually would love to know here. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's actually not that much vision. I need to find the hotkey to switch the sides. I think I don't know what it was anymore. I know that it's in my notes because I actually wanted to do that a little bit more to see who's seeing what, but okay, let's see. So yeah, quite the CS advantage here, of course, for Reckless. As this Kha'Zix is just being a terrorist, man. It's just so bad. As Reckless just perma Gonna push this out. Sneak out all the farm. And the dragon goes to the blue team here. Blue team seems to be in a very good position when it comes to the bot lane. However, then you also have the Fiora. Which, I mean, Jhin can actually do, like, reasonably well. But also, of course, Jhin will always have the problem. Jhin will always have the problem of being very parryable. Karth's ultimate will come out, incentivizing the red team here to fight. I don't know if they want to, though, as the Jhin ultimate will not really tag a lot of people, unfortunately. Looking for a kill here onto the Lux. Beautiful bindings, and the Lux CAITLYN lane coming out very strong here with all those traps underneath the bindings. Is Jhin probably, yeah, gonna get himself out. W is available. That is absolutely great. All right, let's have a look. So Jhin gonna get that Gale Force, of course, which is soon not going to be... No. Gale Force is still gonna be a mythic item, but Kraken Slayer is not gonna be a mythic item anymore, which is very, very interesting. Of course, we're definitely looking forward to that one, no? As I just found out that, yeah. Ooh, I'm finding new hotkeys. Sorry. Right. So we're gonna move into the mid lane here without any bot lane turrets being destroyed. We're gonna move into the mid lane, which means that the Akali is gonna be tethered down here. I'm not sure if that is the best idea, to be perfectly honest, because that means that Akali has way, way less impact here onto the map than and it almost feels like Reckless is just putting her into like play stop, just being like, okay, Akali, like, you're just taking a timeout right now. So Akali's sitting on the timeout stairs right now, just having to farm it out against the CAITLYN, who's also just gonna ult her, which like absolutely does nothing to Akali, because Akali doesn't need many breakpoints to take you down, but you know, whatever. Okay, this is gonna be a little bit of a low state, I would assume, right? Because we have, of course, the Fiora, who is very powerful, who we can't really touch yet, right? Blue team currently definitely in the saddle of the game is Akali. Will find the kill here onto the CAITLYN. Yeah, CAITLYN not necessarily very good at dealing with something like the Akali. As of course Akali has so much range that CAITLYN's range kind of doesn't do much versus this assassin. This is a very good outcome, as of course the Cho'Gath overextending here will be taken down by the Fiora once again. Has its Rod of Ages now. Fiora working towards that Divine Sandra, which is going to be scary, man. If she gets the 2 items here on recall, that's going to be real rough. As, ooh, if Talon and Karthus did talk about what they were planning to do there, this would have been a kill onto the Jhin as well. Talon turning that around a little bit at least, but this could have been well coordinated and would have been really rough. As here, interestingly enough, the Talon is rushing Axiom Arc, and also Fiora has 2 items to her name now. CAITLYN gonna take down a turret, say it is all me, which is very rough. Fiora now gonna play around the bottom side here, right? Try to take down that turret. But for now, we are just playing it safe, looking who's developing where. We see the Akali in the top side here. That already says something. Gotta be a little bit careful, of course, with the Jhin ultimate here as Fiora, as that is the power. But Jhin gonna show himself on the wave here, as Fiora is kind of free to move on and about as the red team here, invading the blue side bottom jungle, as Rakan flirting with CAITLYN a little bit. That is not going to be a big fan of that. As here, the blue team will take down the Talon. The Hex Drinker didn't save you. Is CAITLYN trying to play in a pocket protected by the Karthus? This is kind of rough because, like, yeah, the map definitely split in the blue team's favor here. For now, as the Herald will be taken down. Cho'Gath's still, like, decent at just defending and clearing, as the Lux and the Fiora are putting pressure onto the Cho. With, well, Akali just looking for a little bit of action here. Control ward is placed here as well, as the Lux fishing, and this looks very bad here. Seems like the blue team has a very obvious course to collapse here, but they will not do it. Oh my god, as Kha'Zix will take down the Lux here. Gotta be very careful with the Fiora still, but now Fiora will be taken down as well. Shutdown goes over to the enemy bug. As Akali, unfortunately, not gonna find a kill here. Will be shut down by the Karthus. Kha'Zix takes that one down for himself, as he's gonna move back to safety here, out of the Talon's reach, unfortunately. Using that Duskblade, as Duskblade has become much more popular than it used to be. Of course, Kha'Zix still always the classic Duskblade user, right? As his passive does get activated, so he directly interacts with the Duskblade in form of damage, not just it giving him protection or ability to outplay, like something like the Talon. Duskblade here available to the Kha'Zix, which is actually a really good protection from the Talon, requiring his bleed to be procced a little bit more, as of course Cho'Gath ends up going down once again. The sacrificial lamb of every single play so far. And you can tell from the stat line, as Fiora will be guarding this dragon and say, well, blue team, you gotta take the space, as Akali definitely trying to take the space, plays this very aggressively, will miss the shuriken flip, but will find the kill onto the bot lane here, as Karthus now will be taken down as well, trying to deal as much damage as it can, but unfortunately, dude, this looks so heavy-handed. This feels like it's diamond, dude. But yeah, this is what my Akali looks like. That looked absolutely atrocious. Missed the cannon flip, you know what I mean? The shuriken flip, right? Comboed it a little bit awkward. It's totally fine, dude. It's totally fine. It's the Supreme Goat, guys. Worry not. Still doing very good, though. And of course, Reckless definitely does have a good amount of money here. Jhin also in a similar boat to CAITLYN, where he kind of just doesn't feel super crazy strong. But 2 items already for Jhin, very, very powerful, where CAITLYN is more in the boat of needing like 4. 3 items, not very good on CAITLYN. You know, she's not a Jinx or something. She needs a little bit more until that range advantage really comes in. You're just gonna need more stats for it. I personally think that like Infinity Edge or LDR are almost always the second choice. Of course, LDR versus very specific team comps only. As CAITLYN does benefit quite a bit, actually, from being able to build the Infinity Edge second. That does help her out quite a bit. Of course, it's insane for Jhin. Jhin absolutely loves that type of stuff. And we're going to go for a rapid fire cannon here, which is very good. I mean, helps Jhin out quite a bit at dealing with these champions. It's okay. The teleport out of the Talon coming through here. Fiora gonna go to work onto the bottom lane turret here. We'll take that one down in the blink of an eye as Akali moving to answer it. Or at least keep her from destroying the entire base. Fiora seems to be planning to take a leave here, which is going to alleviate a good amount of pressure. Classic solo queue fashion. Lux a little bit overextended here. And will not be taken down. No, will be taken down. Very good. I mean, this could have also been played a little bit better by the Karthus, but whatever. I think that Karthus actually clicked onto the wall here and moved in here instead of like moving behind the Lux, which he wanted to. But yeah. Rough. Very good job by Reckless. Smudging in that shot. Just barely as here. Lost Chapter. Kindle Gem. Okay, we're going for Everfrost here. The classic Everfrost Lux. Delicious. I kind of understand why, right? You kind of want that on the Rakan, as that guy is gonna look for you all the time. Similar thing goes for Akali. As the Jhin here, just through the way of dealing damage, pretty resistant to the Talon. And ooh, beautiful trade here. Fiora will be able to pick up the Kha'Zix, but Kha'Zix also picks up the Fiora. So this is still a very good trade here out of the Fiora, with the jungler being alive. Now he just needs to live versus the Akali, who is not about that. Or maybe she is, actually. Shuriken Flip will be flashed. And yeah, Reckless just gonna put an end to this. Heal, move in. And now we can take the Baron. Oh, we actually have to be scared of the Lux, though. That's kind of scary. Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, the fourth is not gonna line up well. Oh, Cho'Gath once again. Oh no, dude. Cho'Gath goes down again, man. I feel so bad, dude. The guy. Oh my god, no. Oh man, he made it happen, man. He might not be the winner of this game, but he's the winner in our hearts. Reckless already dealing quite a bit of damage. Fiora showing off her dancing skills here. We don't want her to dance. Oh, yeah. Dude, 2 auto attacks. Jin's dead. Oh, beautiful W out of him, though. He's gonna find the Fiora. Beautiful. Surrender vote failed. The red team unfortunately didn't want to surrender here. Unlucky, man. Unlucky. Oh, no. 10-0 and 8. Reckless, by the way. As he does have a rapid fire cannon, a vampiric scepter, and a cloak of agility here. So the Bloodthirster actually coming in very soon. LDR not really necessary, as we don't really have a lot of armor on the enemy team here. Me slurring my words. As we don't have a lot of armor on the enemy team. Yeah. Scroll. Kali is gonna find Lux. Lux is dead. She went for Crown, by the way, not for Everfrost. Honestly, I would have... Honestly, though, Everfrost makes... I mean, Crown is the more obvious choice, but I think that Everfrost is actually, like, not so terrible, no? And at this point, every item choice looks stupid, because you just look stupid because of game state and the Kali just flipping onto you. I mean, you still gotta be careful with the Fiora, although she is a little bit more mute when it comes to the advantage she has. She still is quite strong here in this game. Of course, CAITLYN still working on that second item. While Reckless already working on the number 4. Which is, of course, always a good power spike for Jhin. Also, why the fuck does Jhin buy 6 items? That's kind of illegal, no? Okay. Jhin W not gonna land. Kha'Zix will manage to take down Fiora. That is one of the most scary members. Karthus has become very scary as well, of course. If he runs into your team and finds some good damage, that's also very scary. But doesn't look like he's gonna. Yeah, very big damage here out of the Jhin, who plays the outskirts of this fight. Look in. Massive damage onto the Caitlyn. As Caitlyn try to Gale Force to her safety. But this Jhin will not be able to hit anyone because the Kha'Zix takes care of it first. As Fiora. Only up in 14 seconds. And this is a rough game, man. This is a very rough game. For the red team, that is. Reckless. Sitting pretty with his 12 to 12 to 0. Beautiful. As it seems like he will have Bloodthirster available here to himself as well. Ooh, that's nasty. Yeah, now we just get LDR and we are full built. LDR at this point still a valuable item, even though we don't see any armor on the enemy team. Although now, of course, the Hullbreaker is completed. But even though we don't really see a lot of armor on the enemy team, just having the LDR versus the base armor already good enough. Enemy team does have 2 melees who get increased armor values as the game goes on. Jhin already critting for 1,000. Beautiful. And yeah, I mean, you just can't do anything. Like, it's just pain to be this Caitlyn right now. It's also probably been pain to be to be Cho'Gath this entire game, but you know, it's Fiora. Oh my god, what is this damage though? Oh my lord, Fiora damage is illegal, man. Alright, well. This is her best guess here, of course, at having impact on that game. She can definitely take down the... Ooh, okay, this is... Yeah, well, Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix coming in. Fiora doesn't have her riposte, but she's gonna flash out of that one. Of course, the... I mean, I don't know if the Hullbreaker is gonna be enough, to be perfectly honest, here to deal with the Kha'Zix. But it does help out quite a bit against Kha'Zix. But no, Kha'Zix just gonna ult along and be good. It's now Reckless. Probably a little bit cocky to just stand in there. Feels like that too. So he's just gonna go into the jungle, take the camps instead. Absolutely valid. So we are trying to gobble up all the money for that LDR. And the Baron will be coming up in a second here. Of course, massive damage available for the Caitlyn now as she has completed a second item. Delicious. And I think, I mean, you know, I think in this case you actually go LDR or Bloodthirster already as Caitlyn. As the Rapid Fire Cannon. Not really going to be any use anyway. The enemy team forcing themselves onto you. And I don't think the attack speed does anything because we are looking for trap damage and just maximum trap and ultimate damage here instead. Kha'Zix, of course, just looking for the enemy team. 4 people found on top of each other. Kha'Zix has to be a little bit careful. All the ults used and Kha'Zix goes down. Shutdown acquired here as Cho'Gath will press R on to the enemy jungler. Now the Jhin is fast approaching and he is inevitable. Will take down the Caitlyn, will take down the Lux as well. As only Fiora and Talon stand, and Fiora is looking at that bottom lane inhibitor, which is going to be stopped by Reckless, who did use his flash node. So there is a very slight outplay angle for the Fiora, but Fiora just going to play it safe as she obviously doesn't really know who recalled with him. I don't think. Maybe everyone was on vision there, but... Reckless. Gotta be a little bit careful with the Fiora. And though, so he is, of course. We'll get the Stormrazor here. Interesting. So, ignore the LDR option and actually just gets the Stormrazor. Very interesting. I mean, I do understand, of course, that Force Crit also works out great. And honestly, very good choice, but I don't know. I would have thought that LDR does make a lot of sense. Or if not LDR, then at least... My god, dude. At least anti-heal or something. As the Jhin ult is gonna come out here. Tag for not that massive damage. Ooh, and gonna miss the most vital targets here. Anyhow, Fiora will be W'd though and taken down by the Kha'Zix. And now Lux. In a lot of trouble. Will find a decent amount of damage here. But will go down to his Zephyr. As now it is only the Talon alive here. 16 seconds on the CAITLYN. Who, let's be honest, doesn't really matter a lot. And the red team finally agreed that this one was not the one, boys. So thank you very much for watching. And I will see you guys in the next one. And tell me who you want me to cast next. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay awesome.